You're waiting for me to talk?
No. Okay. Let me go ahead. I was still waiting for you to post on one more place. Okay, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome again to today's show, Financial Hikers. We are so much privileged to have wonderful guests today. As you know, every day is a learning day, and we always look for people who are ready to share information, people who are willing to educate others, because knowledge is power. And whenever you're in a business or whenever you're doing something and you expect customers to come and buy your product or services that you offer, you have to learn to speak up and share, because information is all we need. So today I'll first introduce myself. My name is Sharon Adundo. I'm one of the admins of Financial Hikers, and we have wonderful guests today. I'll let them introduce themselves. And as we go on, look at the topic we are talking about investment and insurance. These are some of the topics that I know as Africans we don't like touching, but we need them at this particular situation. So I'll let Ruby introduce herself and the other guests, please.
Hello, everyone abroad and within Kenya. It's quite a great opportunity, Sharon, and the rest of the admins like Minji. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And it is a burden that I feel we both share, that is good to invest and invest wisely, so that at the end of the day, like when you're done with the hard work and everything, you have somewhere comfortable to stay and try to be happy on the good work you've done. And anything that can give you that is what you're going to share today, and it's the knowledge that we have. And there's this rendition that sometimes when you are in abroad, it is very impossible to save, but I've seen how Sharon has always worked with each one of us, encouraging us to invest and save. Rahab, welcome. I can see you. So this is a team from Britain, investment and insurance company. And majorly today we are going to talk about investment. And it's an investment, not like when you have a property, you take a cover on it, but you're going to handle a topic in whereby we are encouraging people on how to keep that money for a particular period of time and hit the goals they want, so that they can have their dreams. People have different dreams. Some want to invest in estate, some want to invest in maybe agriculture, some want to invest in various things. Maybe I'm not well traveled, but I know people have dreams which need money, and that's what you're going to talk about. How can you put aside money to reach your dream? And that's so I'll give Rahab just a little moment to say hi, and I will introduce my sister Sally. We are with her here. She'll say hi.
Sorry, hi. My name is Sally. I'm glad to be here today to talk to you guys about financial planning, and thank you for the opportunity.
Rahab, kindly just say hi. Rahab.
All right. Hello to everybody. Good to see you, Sharon. Good to see you, Ruby and Sally. And hello to all our viewers from wherever you are catching us from. It's actually very good to be here to speak about matters investment, because we know there are so many challenges that our diaspora, customers experience as they are trying to invest either at home or abroad. So today we want to take you through just a few thoughts on how you can be able to actually do it through the organization that we work for. So back to you, Ruby. Thank you.
Thank you, Raham. And I'd love just to give a highlight why it's so important to invest back home. Just a highlight before I give Rahab to give us a talk on, not quite a talk, but an insight why it's quite important and how to do it. And Sally will just share the products that we have from our organization. And we are not just going to share information, but we are equally going to give you a bridge on how to reach there. We don't want just to leave you hanging. And it will be bad on us to just give you so much information and you don't know how to utilize this. Sharon,
Thank you so
Sharon, I'm
much.
about.
Thank you so much, Ruby, and your team for coming again to speak with us. And I would like just to say that I know you've lightly introduced yourself. Where are you guys based out of? What? Tell us about your company. Tell us, assume anyone who is listening,
To see a check screen blank.
where you want to speak about. First, introduce your company. We would love to know more about you, at least to get the one-on-one connection. Thank you. Unmute, Ruby.
There's a lot that our company offers. And most, if you want to know more much about our company, the Britam, you can Google it. You can find it on YouTube channel, or they offer, because it's a lot of information. You can't put it here. Today, we are just purposefully going to talk about investment, but Britam is a company that has been there for quite a long time, since 1960s, 65. It's quite a foundation which has a company which has a firm foundation that cannot come, is not coming down anytime soon or anytime anywhere. We are going to leave it here, still serving our children and grandchildren. So it's not something that you should be ish about, that it might go down, or it's some cunning property agencies. It's not like that, because we realize that most of the people who don't invest back at home have this frustration, or maybe they tend to invest in companies that are not here, neither here nor there, and their money they get swindled of their money. So we are just trying to present something that is quite solid, something that if anything ever happens, you can follow it up, you can take it to court, you can do so much, but it's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. It's quite a solid company, and it's not a company that will frustrate you. There's no frustration in it. If you know you gave out so much, it's that what you're going to get. And if you invest in it, that is what you're going to invest. There are no other orange gray areas where you don't understand. Anything that we present is something that is real, and it's a fact, and we have a
Ruby, we are losing you. Hey, Rahab, I see we are losing Ruby. I think you can take over now that probably she's having internet connection issue.
So why will somebody invest back at home, back in Kenya? But one solid fact is, east or west, home is always the best. Your heart belongs home, and something always pulls you back home. And that's what we are telling our diaspora brothers and sisters, east or west, home is always the best. When I talk of diaspora, it's not only in the US, but we have brothers and sisters in the UK, in the United Arab Emirates. We have everyone, Kenyans everywhere. But our hearts belong at home. So we are calling you to come home and invest. Another point why I'd love us to come and invest back at home is, over the few years, there has been some political instability in the diaspora, especially in the US, and you could always see the hostility towards the immigrants, the immigrants in the US. And somebody just questioned himself, if anything ever to happen and you're told it's now you have to go back home, what are you coming back home to if you didn't invest? What are you coming back home to? So you just have to have something here home to invest, so that when, if anything ever goes wrong down at the diaspora, you have home to come back to, and your life could still be comfortable because you did invest. And then again, most of us are in the diaspora because there is work. Here back at home, getting work, stable jobs is quite a challenge. But when you go back, you go to the diaspora, you get a job, and you have a family that are good schools. But definitely, at the long run, when your time is up, you're retired, you're old, you don't want to be sent into the nursing homes, the old nursing homes. You want to come back home to the warmth of your family, where people in Africa, we say we are so happy, we love each one, and we respect the old. So as much as we shall be working and toiling and moiling down at the diaspora, which is a good thing, you should remember that time is coming that the novelty about the diaspora wears off. You want to come back home. We are providing a solution whereby you're coming back home to something that you built up and you invested in. And last but not the least is about even the value of the money. You know, recently a friend of mine was complaining that he bought avocado at 200 shillings. But in Kenya, 200 shillings is enough for a breakfast of five family members. So there's value for your hard-earned money back here in Kenya. Like if you have 200 shillings, you can have breakfast. But if you have like the $2 USD, you are unable even to have breakfast. So when you bring back your money, investing it back in Kenya, you're sure it is valuable. And I realize you guys in the diaspora, you are taxed so heavily. The taxes are so high. You're taxed for federal, taxed for state taxes, and the job, that some expenses they take away from your money. But remember, if you bring your money back here in the country, if you give the corporation which you are working for, maybe let me say you give them a worth of Kenyan shillings 1 million, definitely you are going to get your 1 million with an interest on top and with no funny taxes, which gives value for your money. And I've just spoken on general, and I'll invite my sister Rehab to just give us a greater insight on how your money, when it is invested in the corporation we are working, how it will surely help you and it will be value for your money. Sharon, kindly invite Rehab. Sharon, invite Rehab to give us a talk.
Thank you so much for the introduction that you've done, and we appreciate that. So, you know, we are impacted by so many different things whenever we look at options back home. And it's true, people send back money home and nothing is done, or people just, whenever they realize the person investing is back home is not around or don't easily go back home, they tend to take advantage in a bad way and just eat, in quotes, eat their money, you know. So that's a bad thing. So we are just looking for options in order to be able to be stable in whatever we are doing and to provide foundation for our kids, those who are still beginning the process of building generational wealth. That's the reason why we are here. So we appreciate your people for coming over today to spend their time to teach us, and we're so glad. And I'll let Rahab continue with the conversation. Rahab, assume that whoever is listening have no about what is Britam, what is investment, what is whatever. What the process.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, Sharon, please confirm. I hope you're able to be heard quite clearly. I sometimes see the network buffering, but I will try and, give you a good brief. I'm a marketer by profession. I'm in the training department. I actually work with the team of Sally and Ruby and other teams within the company that we work for, just to impact the knowledge onto our selling staff, so that they are able to face the market with confidence. But I think I'd like to first and foremost, Sharon, congratulate you, because I got an opportunity to even join the Facebook group. And I've also gotten some semblance into what it is that you're trying to do. Well done, keep it up. Let's continue empowering one another. Let's continue empowering one another. So today I want to introduce to you Britam. Allow me to see if I can be able to share my screen. Let's see. See if I'm able to share my screen so that we can be able to see. Kindly confirm that you're able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Can somebody confirm?
No.
We are not.
Not able to see the screen. Let's just see. Technology is, let's see. Let's try again. Share screen. Share screen. Share. Anything yet, Sharon, or?
No, not able to see the screen yet.
Not able to see the screen, huh? Okay, maybe I'm not able to share it because I'm actually trying to share my presentation. I have a presentation here, but I can just speak into it all the same. Even if we will not be able to see what it is that I'm talking about. So Britam, basically, the company that we are working with is a diversified financial services company, like you've heard Ruby state. We are a diversified financial services company. What diversified means is that we basically deal with several forms of businesses. The first form of business that we are in is insurance. So think anything insurance, think property insurance, think life insurance, think general insurance, think marine, any form of insurance, that is Britam. And you'd be happy to learn that. In fact, when it comes to life insurance, we are the #1 life underwriter here in Kenya. When it comes to general, I think we are position 2. Another area of business that we are in is what we call asset management. Now, asset management is about now investing your monies, your hard-earned monies. And I've heard Sharon say that, yes, there's a big problem, that you're in diaspora, you're trying to work very hard, but then you send money to your relatives here in Kenya, and that's the common story, that you send money and that money never gets to the to be utilized for what you had intended it for. It gets
We are losing you now. Hey Rahab, we can't hear you, just in case you can hear me. And I would like to welcome James. James, thank you for joining in. In the meantime, as you're still waiting for Rahab internet to come back on, would you please introduce yourself, James? You were not there when we were introducing ourselves. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to this. Thank you for welcoming me into this session. My name is James Musembi. I'm a Britam representative across most business lines, and I'm happy to be here and actually just be involved in this financial talk. I believe that just as Ruby had said earlier, or my co-workmates and Rahab had elaborated a bit better, that we can never have enough of financial talk and financial IQ. So I'm just happy to be here, team, and I believe that this is going to be a positive session. Sorry for my technicalities. I was in motion, Sharon, and nilikuwa mashambani kidogo because it's weekend, but I believe that we are together and we will make it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining in. And I know you told me you are driving. Thank you for taking this opportunity at least to stop and share with us. So now, as you're still waiting for your colleagues to come back on, because the internet dropped them out, would you continue with the conversation? Would you share with us more about your company and touch on the topics that you're talking about today?
Yes, no problem, Sharon. I had not done any presentation. Yes, I was just trying to be in the meeting and just weigh in on 1 or 2 issues. But thank you for pulling me into it. Yes, just I think Rab stopped at describing the lines and portfolios that we actually deal in consistently as a brand. One thing I know that she was going to allude is on the brand that we run on, and the several things in the markets that we are really involved in. And I want to just take up a bit of just what she had touched on where she was describing the asset management portfolio, where we do business across lines that involve wealth management. And the common thing and common markets and the common financial plays that come into the question, such as money market fund. I am sure, Sharon, you are aware of money market funds and all those things. We are always advertising them on constant basis. The other thing that I think that she was just about to jump into was that in Britain we also deal in a lot of pension management on corporate basis, pension management for transfers. We also do pension for if you are a retiree or looking, or a young person who is looking to open an external pension plan. We also do that. I think the other thing we also do as Britam, and I think she was just moving into that, is to talk about the insurable part that she had discussed, where we deal in major insurance lines such as the medical lines, the life insurance lines, the general insurance lines, property insurance lines, and just because of time, because I know our time today is a bit limited, I will not go so much into detail in describing each and every portfolio that we manage, because there are so many. We actually have up to 9 different portfolios that we work on. So I think I'd like to invite Sally, because I can see Sally here. I'm sure she had planned on a presentation with Rahab to actually weigh in on some of those portfolios. I think, Sally, it would be good if you can begin with the lifeline that we deal in Britain, and try and describe to us what do you mean by this lifeline. Sharon, I think that's okay.
Yes, you did so much, and thank you so much. Left on.
I appreciate it.
And walk us through.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, hi everyone.
Sally, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sharon. Sorry for the network issues. I think that has made Rahab leave the platform. But we want to talk about financial planning. And as Rahab has introduced about Britam, so we'll just basically talk about just knowing about financial, like planning yourself. And so an investment in knowledge, I would love to read because I can't project. We're having an issue with projecting also from this end. So an investment in knowledge is pays the best interest. That is by Benjamin Franklin. The best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. The more you learn, the more you will earn. That's by Warren Buffett. Now, personal development. We are trying to see how does financials relate to the above. For example, how does having a lot of money or like planning yourself financially help you in terms of social or physical or mental or emotional or spiritual life? So how does personal development, how does financials relate to the above? Of course, we know that having a lot of money, or like let's say planning yourself financially, would help you your social life to be better, or even the physical life to be better, like where you stay, in terms of maybe the hospitals you go to. Well, probably, maybe, I'm not sure if that affects you guys in the US. It affects us in Kenya. So, so we encourage our guys to also plan themselves financially. Now, human circle, we want to look at human circle. Of course, the normal human life circle, you are born, you go to school, you finish campus, and then now you're in the US. Probably you went there studying, and then after that, you're already working. But now, we realize that if someone does not plan themselves after retirement, the life could be very different. Of course, as Kenyans, we see those the Wasungus who are already like retired, and they come to our Mombasa beaches and they enjoy themselves. We understand that those guys really saved when they were young. And that chat encourages all of us to begin planning. Just plan yourself. What are you going to do? Like when you come back to Kenya, when you're already 40 years or 50 or 60, or how will your retirement be? And so that's basically what we are trying to just help each other there. So this presentation, of course, if I was going to present us, it's a very nice one. It's showing other guys in that 60 years, 70 years, 80, they are able to fly and to go to other countries like that. While we find some other guys pulling a cat. I know you understand what I'm talking about, because most of, okay, I imagine you understand what I'm trying to say, especially if you've lived in Kenya. Now, so that would help us to, like when you plan yourself now, you are now young, you're 20 years, 25, 30, whatever the age you are, you're planning towards your retirement. So what kind of life are you going to have after this? Now, we have common financial challenges, and this is applicable to all of us, whether you have a lot of money or you have little money. This is number one, something like debt. We have debts. I don't know what if in your place, like in America, what kind of debts you have. Of course, bank loans, circle loans if you have circles, but in Kenya we have more than that. So how do we manage debts so that after some time, like you don't like be in debts forever? You can at least come out of debt, like on the way, sorry. And then we have extended family support. Of course, you are now in the US, all your family is looking at you. They call you every day, Sharon, please send us something, we need this and that. That one is very normal. And so what are you going to do to help you not to, like, helping is good, but you don't spend all your entire savings just helping family. So we are going to look at what do we do so that we reduce that, or do to manage that. Sorry. So something else is about lack of school fees, especially maybe for people you're helping here at home. Another problem could be retirement without future income. Something else could be accidents, disabilities, or illnesses, or loss of assets, or debt without dependence. So we're going to look at how do we handle that. Okay. Now, financing a lifeline. Of course, some people can finance their lifeline by maybe disposing assets or donations or bursary or loans or inheritance. However, the best two that we can do is one, investment. Number two is savings. So we encourage, because the kind of savings we have a very good interest. We are going to come to that later if the time will allow us to talk about that. So investments and savings, it has a very good return, and we encourage people to actually finance their lifeline by doing that. Okay, now a more practical lifeline. Of course, let's imagine you got your babies at age 25 or at age 30, and then you get 1, 2, 3 children. Okay, now depending, as in Kenya, we get up to 3 or even 4 children. Maybe in the US, you get 2 or 1. So that one, so with this example, when you are age 60, your last born, let's imagine you got 3 children. Your third born, when you're age 60, your third born will be that no, you'll have actually like paid school fees for the last 36 years. For example, you begin now, let's say you got your first baby at 30 years. And then the first child goes to school. In Kenya, we go to school at 5 years. Then after that, oh, sorry, Rahab, welcome back.
I don't know what went wrong. At what point did I go off?
You went off very early. You just began and you disappeared.
Oh God, I've spoken to myself for a whole hour.
Jesus
I can
Christ.
see
Sorry.
James Musembi is the one who was trying to call me, I think, and I just disconnected, but I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe
sorry. I think it was an issue with network. Sharon, you want to pick it?
No,
an issue with the network, but I can see my network is quite okay. So I don't know why I keep on getting kicked off. Huh?
Even as Rahab, we were off the net and we just linked up very fast. The minute you were off, even as we were off. So when it happens, just link again immediately and you'll be on. Yeah.
So, sorry, Sharon, let's Rahab continue a bit. Thank you.
So at what point did I get lost? I'm sorry. I was just introducing who Britam was. James, maybe you can remind me where I was?
Yes, Rahab, you got lost at the just introduction phase of Britam, the portfolio management, and right about asset management. That's where we lost you as a team.
Okay, my apologies indeed for that. So
It's okay.
maybe let me try and recover in just a minute or two. I was basically speaking into the fact that sometimes when you're abroad, you're in diaspora, you're sending money home. But as you send money home, that money actually does not get to the intended purpose, because sometimes we know what happens. And Sharon, you had alluded to that sometimes you're sending money to relatives, they misappropriate it. And I said one of the things that Britam does is that we give you a channel through which you can invest directly by passing third parties. You don't need to deal with third parties because we have the IT infrastructure to even give you portals for you to be able to see how much your investment is growing by. And I was trying to encourage you in terms of, if you think about the president's, our presidents, Uhuru Kenyatta, His Excellency, on 1st of June, when he was giving his speech, he was speaking about the fact that when you're a leader and you've been given a nation, you owe it to the citizens to leave the country at a better off position. So he was speaking about the infrastructure developments that they have done as a country. So they spoke about the road networks, they spoke about the LAPSET projects, they spoke about the ports and those sorts of investments. So what that happens, or what that is doing, is that it is really opening up our country, Kenya, for even higher investments. So what happens is that as you're abroad, you must then start thinking, how do I benefit from the environment that is being created in Kenya? How do I start benefiting from the fact that $1 is equivalent to 100 and something shillings, 112 shillings or thereabout? How do I take advantage of that? It means that as you're working abroad, you must then start being cognizant of the fact that then we can give you opportunity for you to grow with this nation, for you to grow with this nation. And one of the ways we help you do that is by helping you create what we call portfolio income. Portfolio income. We all know we have several forms of income. You have earned income if you're in employment. You have profit if you're buying and selling stuff. You have interest income from maybe lending. And then you also have capital gains income. Maybe your assets are increasing in value. You have dividends income. You have rental income. But sometimes we have seen our relatives send money to build and buy plots here, but then those plots were never bought. So the question is, what other channel can we give you to earn what we are calling portfolio income? And if you think about portfolio income, it is the purest form of passive income. So as we go through this, and I know Sally will take us through a product or two, I want you to think about this. How much am I able to invest right now? How much am I able to invest? Start pondering. If I was to start sending money through Britam, which we said is a financial services company that is diversified, dealing in property, in asset management, in insurance. We also do retirement planning for our customers. How much would I want to invest so that if I'm in America for 10 more years and I come back after 10 years, I will have grown a fund? I also want you to think about it in terms of how long can I hold an investment without having to liquidate it? This now advises your need. And when you come to deal with us, we usually take a personalized approach because your goal might be different from somebody else's goal. Maybe Sally has a short-term goal. She only wants to create an emergency fund. But Ruby, her goal is to create she's working with a middle-term goal. And yet James is there working with a long-term goal. So every individual investor has got different goals. And we actually work with you based on your own individual goal. Is it creating an emergency fund? Is it creating a middle-term vehicle? Or are you looking for a long-term vehicle which takes care of your assets and grows them? And then now the next question is, which options can I invest in? Those are the questions we want you to ponder, because if you think about it, life is about planning. If I plan myself well, I'm able to do one or two things. But if I'm not able to plan myself, I'm not able to do much. So you might be in America, you're working maybe 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. The thing is this, if you spare a little bit here and squeeze a little bit there, that little becomes a lot in terms of Kenya shillings. So one other area we really work with you is in terms of preparing you for what we call your life cycle journey. From the time you start working, maybe you've just started working, how do we help you accumulate your assets? How do we help you mitigate your risks? How do we help you plan for the educational needs of your children? How do we help you start thinking about retirement? And most people don't like to think about retirement, but how do we help you think about that future so that by the time you're coming to that future, it is a future that you'd really like to, live in. And unfortunately, I'm not able to share my slides. I had some very good slides here, but I'm not able to share them. Anyway, some of the financial challenges that individuals go through is, number one, debt. I had spoken about debt. Sometimes we go through what we call debt for consumption. And I've seen you, Sharon, speak about it 1 or 2 times. You've brought in somebody speaking about debt. Credit card debt. I used to work in the bank. I used to give people credit loans. And my work was making sure that by the time they are finishing this one loan, I have hit them with another loan. So they go into what is called cyclical debts. And that is what something like a credit card does. But I know the systems are different. You could be in America, you have to live on the credit cards. But even as you're living on the credit cards, I think you're able to manage your expenses so that you're paying, number one, all your bills on time, so that the interest that you're paying is not too high. So let's avoid debt for consumption. Number 2 is extended family support. Another financial challenge that most people go through. You're in abroad, you're in Kenya, your extended family requires support. They keep telling you, well, we don't have money for this, so-and-so is sick. How do you assist them? You know, we also have another challenge, which is called family without provision. Sometimes the main bread earner, the main person who is earning an income, God forbid, a life is lost. So life is about, like I have said, preparation. So that is what we help you. We help you mitigate those risks. We help you plan for education, for retirement. In terms of accidents and illnesses, we have very good covers that help you.
We are losing you again, Rahab. Okay, as we wait for her to come back on, those who are joining today, we're discussing investment and insurance. We have Britain team on board, and they've come here to share with us their product. And I remember some time back, we had a discussion.
Now, money market, excuse me?
Oh, we lost you. So I was just giving a brief on what we are speaking about today. I see we are losing Ruby too. Okay, so I remember some time back we had a discussion about different insurances or different companies that we have in Kenya, and people had issues. If you have a question, please type in your question. They'll be glad to answer your question. And also, as we continue listening, let me give Rehab back a chance to continue talking to us.
All right, thank you, Ruby, for that. It's good to have a view of any questions that you might have. We'll be happy to answer those. So I was saying the channels we want today to speak about, those channels that can allow you to earn your portfolio income. And I said the first one, we call it the money market fund. This is whereby you send small amounts. The basic minimum amount is actually 1,000 shillings. This is a money market fund. So this is a fund which we call an equivalent of an emergency fund. It is a fund you create that you can access at any one point. So supposing you've been saving 1,000, 100 shillings, 120,000, 30,000. If at any one point you feel, now I want what it is that I have accumulated, you can quickly just give instructions and we credit back the amount to yourself. That is the money market fund. So it is sort of a short-term call account. If you think about it, it's money you give us to invest and give you an interest. But at the point where you say, now I need my money back, we give you back your money within 2 days. Sally, do you want to speak about the wealth management fund? Because you are supposed to speak about the products, the vehicles to create the portfolio investments. You'd like to come in now?
Okay, Rahab. Thank you. So Rahab has told us about the emergency fund, the money that you can call anytime. That would be money market. Another one is called wealth management. Wealth management is works like a fixed deposit, but the terms are 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. So you fix this money, say for 6 months or 12 months, but then this money is accessible. You can call it anytime. If, for example, we're giving you a rate of, say, let's say 10% per annum, and then you fix this money for 12 months, if because of any reason you have to call back this money in less than 12 months, you forfeit 3% of the interest. And so that means instead of earning the 10%, you'll only get the 7%. That is for wealth management. Now, this is for short term. You remember Rahab was talking about short term, middle, and then long term. Now, for middle term, could be something like, let's say within 1 year or within 5 years, you want something within 5 years. Let's say you want to buy a plot in Kenya in the next maybe 5 years. We would encourage you to buy something called Akiba. Akiba is a product where you target, let's say 10 million, 10 Kenya shillings, 10 million.
Kenyan shillings.
Yes, Kenyan shillings. So that means 10 million in the next 5 years, you'd require to pay a premium. Sorry, a premium is the amount of money you're paying monthly. Sorry for the many terms, insurance terms. So premium would be something like, let's say something like 50,000. So that you get a target of 10 million within 5 years. Something like that. Though it depends on how old you are, what you want, how much money you want. But that was just an example. So for short term, you would do Akiba for 10 years, for maybe 5 years. Let's say you have a longer term. Probably, let me use Sharon. She looks like 20 something years. Maybe Sharon is at 25.
Sharon is at
Let's say maybe, for example, Sharon is 28 years and she has a number of years to live in the US. Let's say 15, okay, more than 15 years. She could take something longer, like 15 or even 20 years. When she comes back and she targets something maybe like 50 million. 50 million in Kenya, that's a lot of money for retirement, which can help you do, like plan yourself. So that one would give you a different product called the Mana. I'm sorry that we can't project, but the Mana pays you 320% of the interest, 320% of the sum assured. For example, if the sum assured was 10 million, so we'll pay you 320% of 10 million. Yes. At the end of the 15 years. So we have many products now, of course, depending on what clients want, short term, middle term, and maybe now long term. So as we're saying, sorry, let me go back to Akiba a bit. Akiba, I said it can be long term or short term because the minimum time is 5 years and the maximum time is 12 years. So depending on maybe what you want as a person, if you want to do the short term, you could do the 5 year, maybe to buy a plot, then you continue saving. After another 5 or 10 years, now you can build a house or even build up some flats. That can be your retirement plan. Yes. So it depends exactly with what you want, but we can structure it to fit you as a person, like what exactly you want as a person. So that is, sorry, yes, Sharon.
Before you continue, Akiba, and you talked about the 320%. Why is this 320%? So give me a scenario. If my target is 10 million at the end of 15 years, how much will I be getting and how will I get it? If I come to you now, like tomorrow is the end of my 15-year period, I invested, my was 10 million. How much are you going to give me and how will I get the money?
10, 123.
Sorry. Thanks, Sharon, for that question. You want to get 10 million in the next 15 years.
No, her return will be 18 million for cemetery. I can invest 15 million.
She wants. Oh, sorry. Ruby has just done a quick one. You're going to get 18.5. Rahab, you can confirm that. Maybe give us some few seconds. Let Rahab calculate how much you're going to get, or James, if you are the customer wants to get 10 million Rahab in the next 15 years for the mana. And let's also, because our insurance goes with age, let us assume you are how many years, Sharon? Let's say 30 or 25, somewhere there. Any age, Rahab, pick any age.
She's my age mate.
Maybe just pick 30 years for now, and then we work on that. So maybe as Rahab is calculating, Sharon, so we have said you can do short term or long term. Now for Sharon's example, she's taking 10 million in the next 5 years, in the next 15 years. James, did you get it? Sorry, Rahab.
I think for that for that example that Sharon is asking, I think it is important for us to be clear of a few things. Number one, we speak about when you're speaking about these investment products, we talk about something called the sum assured. We talk about the sum assured. So in the event that we are talking about a sum assured of 10 million, meaning by the time, Sharon, we are quoting for you based on your age, at the end of the year, at the end of the term, we are saying your sum assured is 10 million. So for the manner, you've had Sally state very clearly that you get 320%. So if your sum assured is 10 million, we are going to give you a total fund of 32 million shillings because it is actually a return of 320%. You've stated it right there, Sally. But to answer you, Sharon, we are actually guided on those calculations in terms of how much premium then you should pay to that 32 million. We are guided by your age. And that's why I said now some of these conversations, we would have to pick them up individually. Your need could be different from somebody else's. Maybe you need to generate a long-term fund of 32 million, but there's somebody else here who wants to generate 5 million in 5 years. So it becomes my primary, duty to help that person generate that 5 million in 5 years, whilst I'm helping you generate 32 million in 10 to 15 years. You get me? So we work with individuals. And I think after this or during this session, would like to share even our contacts so that we are able to interact with you individually. If we were to be able to go through all the scenarios, we are going to spend so much time. But I think the thing is, and the main message is this, we have short-term solutions. We are looking at short-term being anything between a month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 years. We have those solutions. And I've spoken about the money market fund, which actually gives a return of about 9%. That is one of the options. And I said the big differentiator for money market is that it is an account on short call. By the time you say, fine, give me back my investment plus interest, I return that to you immediately.
We lost her again.
Yes, Sharon, I think I can weigh in on something small. Sharon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sorry for my Safari background. I was home, as I had stated, nyumbani kabisa Safari. So don't worry about it. I want to believe that some of the things that Rahab and my core team is alluding to is now from here the discussions that we would like maybe to pursue and engage you as a team are placed on a personalized individual basis. And I believe that just as Rahab was saying, with the personalized individual basis discussions, would be able to do very, very personal oriented goals and specific product picking for the specific clients. So I believe that as we share our contacts here, most of our members will be of the members and people will be able to reach us, and we can share some write-ups, actually go through an online Google Meet on a personal individualized basis, and be able to have the discussion further to enable you pick the right product from us as a team. So I think Rahab is back. Karibu Rahab.
Thank you for stepping in. I keep getting lost. And I think I had talked about one of the things
Yes, Rahab.
Yes? Yes, James, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I had spoken about one of the advantages of going through Britam is that, number one, we are a listed public
Yes, we can
company.
hear you.
We are listed in the stock exchange. One thing working for you as a diaspora customer is our IT infrastructure. The amount of money that Britam has invested to make sure that we have the right IT infrastructure. So once you sign up, you actually pay directly into a custodian account, which is in Standard Chartered Bank. That is where you pay your money into. So you don't pay anybody, you pay into the custodian account. Now, after you've been created on the system, we create you on our portal systems so that you're able to have a unique username and login. So you're able to go into the systems and confirm whatever it is or how your fund is growing. You'll be emailed every so often to show you this is the amount of your fund and this is how it is performing. In case of any issues, we have a very robust customer service team that really helps you just be onboarded perfectly. I don't know if you have any other clarification, Sharon. We seem to be losing each other at some point.
I normally say I like working with examples and I love maths. I love calculations. So I would like to take you again back to this. At least you walk us through one example. Suppose I'm a client coming. Now you are presenting today, sharing your products. And I know someone somewhere now is also listening. Now we are in 2021. Someone maybe wants to make a 10-year plan, 10-year goal or 15-year goal. Let me pick myself as an example, just an example. Suppose I like to go for Damana.
Yeah.
I'm 30 years old. I'm still in this 320% you guys talked about. Walk me through. You talked about sum assured. You talked about premium being guided by select. You have to know the age and how much the premium one will be paying for. So assume that my target is 10 million within 15 years. I'm 30 years old at 320%. Someone is watching somewhere, probably wants to make a decision right now. Give me a scenario. What will I expect? I'm coming to you today. I've listened to your product and I'm interested in Damana at 320%. What will I expect? How will my 15-year investment period look like? What will I be expected to do on my side per month in order to be able to achieve my objective? And are there taxes to be deducted from this 320%? So just at least let's do one example so that we can move on to the next.
Okay, Sally, I don't know if you're calculating that. You're the ones who have the rate books, kindly. The mana, 30 years.
Yes, Rahab. Give me like 2 minutes to calculate what she's just said. You can say something. 2 minutes, yes.
All right. And I think she said that she's targeting an amount of 10 million. So
10
that's
million for 15 years?
That's
for 15 years, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How much should she be contributing every month?
That is guided by the age, which is what Sally is calculating.
She said she's 30.
She said she's 30 years.
Yeah.
So you can do a quick calculation on your rate book.
Sure. And the team is quite great. Thank you so much, Rahab. You are quite.
And like it, just finish.
Rahab, thank you so much for your input, and we do really appreciate you so much. Don't leave us up to the end. We were given 1 hour. Sharon?
All right.
Sharon, we are going to take you through, but the manna is just one example of one way of saving your money. We have so many products, like Rehab had said, they suit each and every other person's need. Like we cannot take everyone and put them in one box. People have different needs, different targets, and different uses for their money. Maybe what is so valuable for you might not be valuable for the other person. So as the Britam, we do care for everyone, and people earn money differently. There's some who earn money daily. We have a product for those guys. We have for those who earn maybe weekly. You can even do your contributions even after daily. There is weekly, and then there is even quarterly. Once, twice a year or once a year, those products are there. And that's why James was saying, for an elaborate, we need so much time, but we wanted to give you that there is so much a wonderful company that cares for all your needs. And I've gone a step further to bring products that are suitable for us who are in the diaspora. But let me just continue saying it's not only for the people in the diaspora. I know most of my friends who are in Kenya are listening to me. The products are not only for the people in the diaspora. The products are also for the people in Kenya. You can invest. Britam is not only meant for people in their diaspora. It's for even the common mwananchi, yule mtu wa mjengo. You are welcome to invest. And I think Rahab can take us to some other points as Sally is clearing the calculation, and she's going to take us through the product. Rahab, please.
All right, thank you, Ruby, and thank you even for organizing this session with Sharon. I hope that our viewers, you're gaining something from this discussion that is ongoing with regards to the sort of products that we have. I think one other area that as we invest, as we take our families through life, that we must really guard is making sure that there is a life insurance policy somewhere. And I know that is not a conversation that many people like speaking about, and especially here in Kenya. When we hear about life insurance, some people might shy away from it. But I think the individual life cycle is such that I said life is about preparing and planning. So if you're preparing, you're gathering your assets, you're consolidating, because life moves in stages. As you grow into the 20s, 30s, you're accumulating. You're accumulating. When you get into your 40s, your 50s, you're sort of consolidating what it is you've been acquiring. And then as you go into your retirement ages, you're sort of divesting and trying to plan for the next step of life. So I think one area that we must really be critical or take more attention to is life insurance. Unfortunately, when there is death in a family, that family takes an average of 3 years before they can even start thinking about what next. But when there is a life insurance policy, I think it makes the journey easier. So part of investing is also making sure that you're actually well covered against certain risks. We saw when Corona came,
We lost her again.
Yes, Sharon, I think we lost her again. Ruby, I want to confirm that are you done with the calculation that Sharon wants to hear about? Ruby? Yes, Sharon, I think we lost both of them. I think they're trying to reload it again. I can see much of our time has really been spent. There they go, they're back. Yes, Ruby?
Okay, thank you. I'm back. We're trying to say, we're just trying to
Yes.
clarify some issues here. Sharon, when you ask that if you contribute an amount of 10 million or you want 10 million at the end of the 15 years.
The point I got from the presentation was like, if I plan to invest 10 million, target time 15 years, I'm 30 years old, I'll be paid 320% interest. That's what I got. So in my mind, I'm like, if I plan to put 10 million in a period of 15 years, is it that I'll be paid an interest of 320% at the end of 15 years on my 10 million? Or how is this about? And how will I be paid? You're on mute, Ruby.
Trying to say, yes, Sharon, if you contribute an amount of 10 million, your 10 million in 15 years shall have earned you an interest of more than that 10 million which you contributed. And that's why that's why we are trying to give you the exact amount. It's the calculations we are doing. So don't get worried that it's taking time. We don't want to be giving superficial figures that don't exist. We are whatever we are doing here is a promise that it's like cast on stone. It doesn't change. And we don't want to be trying to figure out figures. It's a fact that your money grows with Britam. And Sally is almost done. And she's coming in to present it. Sally, come in. James, something you wanted to say? James?
No, Ruby, I was just trying to weigh in on that and just say, just as Rahab had said, to Sharon, that we normally have that personal engagement so that we can do that quotation. I know you want that example. I'm sorry, it's just taking some few minutes, but I can see Sally is back. I think she has the information. Maybe she can now clarify to us a bit better as it comes.
Okay. Now, sorry, Sharon, I've done two examples. One, for the manor, you get 320% of the sum assured. Now, sum assured is that value will pay you the 15th year. So I've done two. One, where you'll get 10 million at the end of the 15 years. So for that, your sum assured is, actually I've done a sum assured of 4 million. So the sum assured 4 million times 320 comes to around, it's actually around 12 million. It's more than 10. So you're only paying 58,000 per month. 58 Kenyan, 58,000 and how much? 58,395. Now, if you want us to work on the sum assured of 10 million, which at the end of 15 years will pay you 320%, that will be 320% of 10 million, which means the company will pay you 32 million. The premium there is only 145,000. 145,915 per month.
Per month.
145,000.
That's the contribution you give per month,
yeah,
for 15 years.
Yes.
Sharon,
I'm writing it down. So 145, 915 per month, a period of 15 years. So does it mean this figure, when you do it, you calculate it, the interest rate will be that 320%?
Sorry, we're losing you. Come again.
Okay. My question is, at 1,915 Kenyan shillings a month for years, will that mean that this money will be growing at an interest rate of 320%?
No. No, the interest is not 320%. This is the amount of money you'll be paid. Okay, this kind of product accrues interest from the 5th year. The term is 15 years, but the policy accrues interest from the 15th year. And then you get this interest earns every year up to the 15th year, but we don't pay you anything at the middle of the years. All amount will be paid the 15th year, the 320%. So the interest, not interest, the bonuses, it accrues bonuses from the 5th year, and the bonuses are now 220%, and then we add the maturity, 100% maturity, that makes it 320%. Sorry, I hope I'm clear, or it's a bit confusing.
Based on time, whoever is interested to go through can contact. So I'll let you guys continue, and at least let's give it another 15 minutes because it's only 1 hour period, and I know a lot to present. So let's 15 minutes share. Thank you.
Okay. So we have shared our contacts there. Kindly, you can get in touch. We can give you a personalized product, of course, depending on one's need. Could be short term, long term, or anything like that. But I think the session has been very good. We've really enjoyed ourselves, and thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you. I don't think I don't have anything else. We have many things to talk about, but now I think because of time, it's okay. We can end it there. Rahab?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Sadi. Thank you, Sharon. I think what is coming through as the main message to the group is that there are very many options. We are not able to maybe basically go through all those products. But I think one of the ways we look at it is that we classify those products in terms of insurance, savings, and investments. That is the way we classify majority of our products. And then now we approach it from the point of view of the customer. What does the customer want? Do they want a short term? Do they want a middle term? Are they in it for the long term? Once we understand that need, we are able to then customize a product and a proposal. And that's why we say the most critical thing is to also get the contacts there so that you are able to then pick that conversation of, hey, I had maybe wealth management, mentioned right there. One thing that needed to come out clearly is that when it comes to wealth management, the minimum investment is usually Kenya shillings, 1 million shillings. That's the minimum investment for wealth management. However, for wealth management, we actually do have that fund available as a US dollar investment. For a candidate or a customer who does not want to go through the loss, the exchange loss, we don't need to convert your money into Kenya shillings. We can actually invest on your behalf in USD in case that is the requirement. So those options are also available. They are varied, and we are happy to have those conversations with you at a very individualized level. Then now we customize the products and see which one works out well for you. So that then now we avoid this whole scenario of you sending money to middle people, third parties, who then, do nothing. By the time you're coming back to check on that plot you had sent money for, unapata pesa, the money was squandered. That is what we are basically trying to help you avoid. Invest in Kenya directly through an organization that has the IT systems to help you move forward. So back to you, Ruby. Thank you very much for the audience. Thank you, Sharon, for the thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much, Rahab. I really, really do appreciate, and I think you are God sent. In fact, your input is quite enlightening. And just to give an highlight on our products, all the products are not taxable. In fact, you put in your money, you get it the way it is. Only 2 products have the withholding tax, which is the wealth management and the money market one. There is a 15% withholding tax, and that's an option. There are so many options, and all your monies are guaranteed. If you put in 10 million, you'll get your 10 million with an interest plus an interest on top of it. And we are just trying to build a culture of setting aside your money, saving it. The same gospel Sharon has been spreading. And now I think as the Britam team, we've given you a bridge on how. Sometimes you're putting your money aside and you really don't know what next. Now we've told you what next with your extra amount of money. Because in Kenya, there's some investment that really gives you back a great deal. And thank you for the team. Thank you for those who've been listening. And if you really need our contacts, I think Sharon can see them. Our emails are on. There's Sally Kibor's email. There's mine, Ruby Orina. There's James, and then there's Rahab Rwangaruro. And I think Sharon, you'll just do some justice for us that you can put them up there. That anybody who has some questions, who have some doubt about insurance and investment, I think we will shed some light where there were so many gray areas. And thank you, Sharon. Back to you.
Thank you, Ruby, and your team. I have one question that came in here. Someone was asking that she invested with Britam through an agent, and she was surprised after 5 years she never received her money, and the promised date she lost everything she invested. How are you guys ensuring that that is not happening in this season?
Rahab has handled that, and I think she can. I highlight it more because nowadays you don't give somebody your money. Rahab, trust me, Rahab is going to answer it very well. Rahab, give us and.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon, for that question. I want to say that insurance is a contract. I want to believe that that was a life insurance product that that person had signed up for, maybe an education plan. Now, anytime you go into an insurance contract, it is important for you to be able to understand terms. So what happens is that insurance plans usually gain value as time goes by. They gain a cash value. As you pay your premium, the policy is gaining a cash value. And at the point of maybe we have what we call non-forfeiture options. These are the options that are given to an individual for them to be able to exit without losing their money. For you to achieve those non-forfeiture options, you must have paid in that contract for a period of time. And I want to believe that in that scenario, what happened is that maybe that period was not achieved. And as a result, that policy had not yet acquired its cash value, such that now when the customer came and
we lost her again. Rahab, just in case you can hear me, we can't hear you. Ruby, are you there? Again, thank you everybody who's been watching, and we see we are 20 minutes past our time. We lost Rahab and she's back. Please.
What she was trying to say. Now, Rahab, welcome back. We've not even said anything.
All right, sorry, I was just trying to explain about that scenario, and I have said that it would happen if the policy had not acquired a cash value such that, and most of those products maybe is a stipulated time period. So I think it is important that as you're engaging in contracting an insurance product, it is also good for you to be able to understand the terms. So as a customer, you must make sure you're very comfortable with all the terms. And then once the insurance contract is also given to you, kindly take time to read through the contract so that you're able to understand the terms. Most of these policies have what is called a free look period, which is a 30-day period during which you can actually exit in case you're not comfortable with any of the terms and conditions. So that is available. But you see, most times what happens is that you're given the contract, then maybe somebody will not go through the small print, they will not go through the terms, they will not. So it is important for the customer to go through that and for the agent to also explain that to the customer. That's the way I would handle that question. I can see a few more questions on the Facebook page, Sharon. I don't know if you can have a look at those.
I see Mercy saying, I wonder what kind of interest loan they give to enable them to pay out 320% in 15 years.
I think there is a clarification that Sally has made on that, and she said that is not basically the interest. She said what is being paid as 320% is sum assured. So in case my sum assured was 10 million, then that means that I'm getting back 32 million. But then now you need to consider how much premium have I paid into that policy. You probably find that you have paid a premium of maybe 25M, and then you're getting back 32 mils. So the interest element is the 6%. So what is being given as 320 is not the interest, but the total fund. You know, so those terms, somebody would have to sit down with the agent so that they are able to understand them at that point.
And I see Dora was asking 24 minutes ago, like, please touch on wealth management product. I think you mentioned some of the wealth management products already.
Yes, I did mention about the wealth management product, which I said is one of the fixed income products that we do have as Britam, that we do offer our clients. Basically, what happens with wealth management is that you start off with a basic minimum of 1,000,000 shillings. You're bringing us your 1,000,000 shillings, just the same way you would take that 1,000,000 shillings to the bank, but now you're bringing it to Britam for you to be able to look and be given an accelerated interest rate. And then now that amount, we would fix it, would agree with you. Are we fixing it for a term of 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months? We agree with you based on your need as a client. So obviously that means that for the wealth management, this is a customer who already has got a very predetermined income stream. So they are taking their bulk money, they are putting it aside for it to be fixed, and then they are looking for an accelerated interest rate, which is at about a rate of 9%. So by the end of that, either 3 months, 6 months period, or 12 months period, we give them back their money together with the interest they've earned over the period of time, depending on what it is. Is it 6 months? Is it 3 months? Is it 12 months? But one thing I can be able to assure you is that the capital is always, you're guaranteed your capital. And of course, Sally spoke into the fact that should you decide you want your money earlier than the term that you had contracted, if I had contracted for 12 months and I decide, hey, it's now month 11, I need my fund back, I will get back my fund plus the interest that I've earned over the 11 months, but there is a small charge of 3% on the interest that I would have to forego. That's the way the wealth management works. So it is an accelerated amount. That one is 1,000,000 shillings. And if I'm to top up, I top up in amounts of 500, 500, 500,000. That's the way it works. I hope that that is clear.
That's good information right there. I would like to say that I know based on what I've heard or read, I've not invested with you guys, but I know we've had both good and negative, views, experiences from people. And I would like to just say that I know you guys have a wide product. And if we can just have sessions whereby at least you come and talk to us people, we know the other side where agents are also just trying to make their money, avoiding talking about the gray areas whereby someone might be losing if they don't take precautions. So those are some of the things that we need to learn. Like, let's say, if I know that this month I need to target making a commission of maybe 100,000, I'll focus I want to focus on the little details of what is on the policy. So I'll let the other person who is trying to buy a policy to figure them out by themselves. And on my end, I know I have my bills, and if I don't work hard to get my commission, then I won't be getting any income. So there are both sides. Someone will be suffering somewhere at the end of the day if right information is not achieved. As an agent, people will start, we are online, start talking so bad about me selling them bad insurance product because I did not take responsibility to explain in details like, hey, if you do this, you'll lose this money, or if you do this, you won't get this. So I think it's high time for us Kenyans. We know ourselves Kenyans. We like so many shortcuts. We like not doing the right thing at the right time sometimes, but it's high time to change. We have Kenyans who built their generational wealth. Even if the family breadwinner dies, they still have the flow of income and everything works perfect. Their company setup works perfect. What can we learn about them? Can we learn from Britain people? Or insurance is something that helps generational wealth creation. Can we learn from the people who are in this field and change our lives? That's the reason why we are having this conversation. Otherwise, I thank you, Rahab and Ruby. We still need you guys here because I know we talked we have accountability partners group forum. There is a time people were so bitter about Britain products, and we have those people. I know if they know the conversation will be going on, they'll be able to come here and say, hey, this was my experience. How can I manage it next time? So that we try to take care of the gray areas and give someone hope to try again. So that's my request at this moment. Do you have anything else to add on?
I think
Thank you
that's a
so
very,
much.
sorry. So go ahead, Ruby.
I'm saying, Sharon, thank you. And we are always ready to talk. Just call us anytime, even if you want us every week. Bora tu tuambie, tujitayarishe. And Rahab, just say the last word for the whole team. Sharon takes us down now.
All right. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you for those sentiments that you've just shared about even the way insurance is sold. And the challenge is basically on us because, again, insurance is a trust business. That's the way I look at it. It's a business of trust. You know, you are coming to me and you're trusting me with helping you to make a financial decision that could impact the life of your family. At the end of the day, I personally believe in the value that insurance agents bring to the table because I can be able to articulate the difference between, you know, when a policy is paid, when an investment has been liquidated and the customer is happy and they've gotten back their income to achieve their financial goal. But yes, that message has sunk home and we'll continue taking it even back to our colleagues back that, you know, when we sell insurance, we need to sell it with the customer at heart. Because once you look at this relationship as a long-term relationship, and that's the way I like to look at it, it is a long-term relationship. I don't want a relationship whereby I sell to you and then at the end of the day, you're unhappy, you're telling so many people. That's not the way it works. It works for me if you're happy with my service and you're able to actually go and tell other people, hey, that's a lady who you can depend on. That's a gentleman who you can depend on. That is somebody who has helped me secure the life of my children. That is somebody who has helped me secure my assets. That is the way it should be sold. And once the customer and the agent are at that point, I believe everything works well. So thank you very much, Sharon. Thank you to the audiences. God bless you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody. I see you guys shared your email in a private chat. I'll try to see if I can post them on the main page. If not, you can go back to the main live on Facebook and just post your contact information there. Let's work on it at the end of the video. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, we are all about information sharing. We like to change our financial status, guys. Those who have information that can help build our community. We are tired of begging. Our continent is known for begging money out there, you know. we can change this, and it all starts from us, not the government. We are the government. So let's work on it. And till next time, thank you all for tuning in. Have a lovely evening and have a lovely day wherever you are. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.